From the shadows, a name has been whispered. A legend, forged in comic panels and brought to life decades ago, now poised to carve a new path within the sprawling tapestry of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Blade. His presence is felt long before his arrival, a chill running through the established order. What does his coming signify? A shift? A new enemy? Or simply, a reckoning? The MCU has always embraced heroes of light. But what about the ones who hunt in the darkness? The ones who exist on the very edge of humanity? Before the MCU, before the seismic announcements, Blade existed. A character born from the pages of Marvel Comics in 1973, an improbable hero. Half human, half vampire, driven by an unyielding hatred for the creatures that created him. His early cinematic outings cemented his status as a unique force, a brooding figure wielding a sword against the night. He was different. Gritty. Violent. A darker corner of the superhero genre. His legacy casts a long shadow, setting a high bar for any new interpretation. The very idea of him returning held immense weight. San Diego Comic-Con, 2019. The air buzzed with revelations, a cascade of new projects and returning favorites. But then, a moment. A silence descended. Kevin Feige, architect of the MCU, stood before the clamoring crowd. And with a single, unexpected reveal, he changed everything. Mahershala Ali, stepping onto the stage, donned a simple baseball cap with the word Blade. The crowd erupted. It wasn't just an announcement, it was a statement. A promise of a different kind of Marvel. A promise of things that dwell beyond the light. Mahershala Ali. An actor of incredible depth and presence. 2 Academy Awards to his name. His casting wasn't just a choice, it was an event. It instantly elevated the project, signaling Marvel's serious intent. But it also posed a question: what was it about Ali that compelled him to seek out this role? The story goes he reached out to Marvel himself, expressing a desire to play Eric Brooks. A personal connection. A vision, perhaps, for how to embody this complex, conflicted character. The Daywalker, now with a new face, ready to emerge. Eric Brooks is not simply a hero. He is a paradox. Born from a tragic encounter between his mother and a vampire, he inherited both the strengths and weaknesses of the undead. He possesses superhuman abilities, strength, speed, heightened senses. Yet, he walks in sunlight, immune to the traditional vampiric curses. This duality defines him. It fuels his relentless crusade against the very creatures he shares a lineage with. A man perpetually at war, both with the world around him and with the darker urges within. A perfect fit for a mature MCU. For years, the supernatural realm of the MCU remained largely untouched. Hints of magic, yes, but true horror? Not quite. Then came Eternals. A film that, in its very final moments, offered the first true, undeniable connection to Blade. A post-credits scene. Dane Whitman, facing a cursed Blade. And then, a voice, deep and resonant, cutting through the silence. Sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman? It was Mahershala Ali. A mere vocal cameo, yet it reverberated through the fandom. The first stone cast, signaling the arrival of something ancient and terrifying. The Eternals tease wasn't just about Blade, it confirmed the existence of vampires within the MCU. Not just metaphorically, but literally. Bloodthirsty, ancient entities. This revelation opens up an entirely new corner of the Marvel Universe, previously unexplored. What kind of vampires exist here? Are they feral monsters, or sophisticated, hidden societies? Are they new creations, or have they been lurking in the shadows since the dawn of time, merely waiting for their moment to strike? The implications are vast. A hidden war, perhaps, playing out just beneath the surface. From the moment Blade was announced, a persistent question echoed: would Marvel dare to give it an R rating? Blade's comic and cinematic history is steeped in mature themes, graphic violence, and horror. An R rating would allow for a faithful adaptation, free from the constraints of the typically family-friendly MCU. It would signal a new frontier for Marvel Studios, expanding their creative boundaries. Discussions swirled. Kevin Feige himself acknowledged the potential for a darker, more adult tone. But committing to an R rating within the PG-13 juggernaut of the MCU is no small feat. The journey from announcement to principal photography can be a long one, even for established properties. For Blade, it proved particularly arduous. The initial excitement of 2019 slowly gave way to a more cautious optimism as years passed. The COVID-19 pandemic certainly played a role, disrupting schedules across the industry. But other factors began to emerge, hinting at deeper challenges behind the scenes. The machine of Hollywood, even Marvel's highly efficient one, can sometimes encounter unexpected friction. What was causing the delays? The answer, as always, was complex. A major indicator of creative hurdles often lies in the director's chair. Bassam Tariq was initially announced as the film's director, a choice that promised a fresh, indie sensibility. But in late 2022, just weeks before filming was set to begin, Tariq departed the project. Citing creative differences and scheduling conflicts, his exit sent ripples of concern through the fandom. A new director, Yann Demange, was brought on board. This shift wasn't just a personnel change, it suggested a fundamental re-evaluation of the film's vision. A restart. A recalibration. What was being recalibrated? Behind every great film lies a strong script. For Blade, this proved to be a significant stumbling block. Reports emerged of multiple writers, numerous drafts, and a constant search for the right tone. Initial scripts were reportedly deemed too dark, or perhaps not dark enough. The balance between horror, action, and the MCU's broader narrative seemed elusive. Writing a superhero story with genuine horror elements, while still integrating it into a sprawling cinematic universe, is a unique challenge. How do you find the heart of Blade, while still making him fit? The answers proved hard to pin down. The impact of these production struggles manifested most visibly in the film's release date. Originally slated for late 2023, it was pushed back. Then again. Each delay, a new wave of speculation. Fans, eager for the Daywalker's arrival, watched as the calendar pages turned, and Blade remained just out of reach. These shifts aren't uncommon in Hollywood, especially for a project of this scale and creative ambition. But for a character so highly anticipated, each pushback amplified the intrigue. What was Marvel struggling with? Was it simply artistic refinement, or something more fundamental? Blade's delayed arrival didn't mean the supernatural corner of the MCU remained dormant. Projects like Werewolf by Night and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness began to explore darker, more mystical elements. Werewolf by Night, in particular, offered a black-and-white, classic monster movie aesthetic, demonstrating Marvel's willingness to experiment with genre. These releases, arguably, paved the way for Blade, softening the ground for a true horror action film. They hinted at a larger, hidden world, where creatures of myth and terror exist alongside superheroes. Blade is not alone. He is merely the spearhead. One of the most intriguing mysteries surrounding the MCU Blade is the nature of its vampires. Will they adhere to classic folklore? Or will Marvel introduce its own unique strain of the undead? The comics offer a vast array of vampiric factions and ancient lords. The choice of adversary will significantly impact the film's tone and scope. Will they be feral, mindless creatures, or sophisticated, manipulative beings hiding in plain sight? Blade's personal war requires formidable, nuanced foes. What threats lurk beyond the veil, awaiting the Daywalker's blade? The canvas is blank, ready for new horrors. Blade stands apart from the Avengers, from the Guardians, from virtually every hero introduced so far. He doesn't save cities from alien invasions or protect dimensions from cosmic threats. His fight is intimate, brutal, and deeply personal. He's not seeking glory, he's seeking vengeance and justice against an insidious evil. His methods are often extreme. His world, bathed in shadows and blood, contrasts sharply with the vibrant, hopeful tone of much of the MCU. This differentiation is key. It promises a distinct flavor, a much-needed genre expansion. He's a blunt instrument against a precise evil. Bringing Blade to the MCU is arguably one of Marvel Studios' biggest creative tests yet. It demands a delicate balance, honoring the character's dark roots while integrating him into a universe known for its interconnectedness. It requires embracing horror without alienating a broad audience. It calls for mature storytelling without sacrificing the heart that defines Marvel. The journey to production has been fraught with challenges, a testament to the complexity of the task. But if successful, Blade could unlock entirely new narrative possibilities, paving the way for darker heroes and untold stories. The stakes are undeniably high. Despite the delays, despite the changes, the promise remains. Blade is coming. The pre-production hurdles, the directorial shifts, the numerous script revisions, they are merely chapters in a longer story. A narrative of perseverance, of creative ambition, and of a studio's unwavering commitment to bring one of its most iconic and darkest characters to life. The wait has been long, shrouded in mystery. But with each challenge overcome, the vision sharpens. The stage is being set. The shadows are gathering. And soon, the Daywalker will finally step into the light, forever changing the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.